Thank you for that introduction. My name is Peter Mutabazi, but I want to warn you, I speak 7 languages. English is my 4th language, so that means I'm thinking the other languages in order to find the right word to say. So I might be rude today, but here's what you can do for me. Throw your iPhone 13 at me. I have teenagers that will need that phone immediately tonight. I call them, they don't answer, but they need phone. I don't know why they need a phone when they can't answer when dad wants to reach out to them. Well, as he said, my name is Peter Mutabazi. Most of you know me as Foster Dad Flipper on social media. Someone the other day asked me, like, do you flip children? I'm like, does that mean going home is flipping children? You know, when they age out? I said, no, I flip houses, but you can use it the way you want. So I don't flip children, I flip houses. Well, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's my home, and it's really been a joy to be here. US is my family, and it's my country, and it's my home. I became a US citizen 3 years ago, so finally I can vote. I can do one thing, at least vote, and so this is my family. So I'm about to introduce you to my family, so let me show you a few of my pictures. Well, that is my family. Right now, well, don't say all yet because there's more to do. But this picture represents a little bit of my family. I have 2 dogs, Simba and Rafiki, you know? I thought I have white kids, they're all American, I need something African. So Simba and Rafiki. But my house is a mess. My life is a mess for one human being that I regret for meeting 12 years ago. I met Jason Johnson in Kenya when he was a pastor. And I thought, this dude is cool. He says a few words as you know him. He's not a guy who talks quite often. But when he does, he really talks wisdom. This time he was talking about the little kid, the little baby they had in their home. And he showed me the picture and I said, wait, you're white and your little kid is black. How does that work? Like, how does that happen? And he introduced me to foster. So my messy life, I blame it all on Jason Johnson. Next picture. That picture is my 5-year-old or 6-year-old right now. Every time I put him into bed or I pick him from school, he always says, Dad, calls me Papa. Papa, thank you for picking me up or for taking me to bed. But what he's saying, thank you that I have a place to call home. Next picture. This one. So there are a few people that you should not know or you should not sit next to. That's Ken Maxwell and Ashley McKinney from 7 Homes. If you're sitting next to them, run for your life. Please, run, find a home to go to. Here's the reason why. I've always taken boys, but they said, you take this little girl. So I took the girl, but she's the boss of the house. I lost all my privilege of being a dad. She paints my nails twice some days. I have blonde hair in her imaginary mind that she has to work on every day. She's the boss. Next picture. This one, I blame Ken again. He called me, he said, there's a little boy, well, not little, 17. He's about to age out and he needs 12 days. That's what I had, 12 days. I said, sure, I will help him. He said, Peter, no, 12 months. I said, oops, I've already said yes. How do I say no? So I have him. And I love him to death. And I want also to blame someone else here. Nicole Taylor from CFK. Here's why. You know you have that friend, you want to quit and you know they're going to say, yes, quit, we'll help you, quit. But every time I go to her, I say, I am done with this. I cannot do this. Like, do you need food? How much food do you need? How much resources do you need? I said, I came so you can help me quit, not support me. That's Nicole. So for that, I blame Nicole Taylor. Next picture. This one. So for you all here, all love to respite, be careful what you ask for. Be careful. For this little boy, they asked me for a weekend. I said, sure, a weekend I can do. Come on, I can do that. And he walks in, I said, my name is Mutabazi, but it's long. You can call me Mr. Peter. He's like, can I call you my dad? I said, hell no. No. You're leaving on Monday. No. Well, 2 years later, he's my adopted son. So watch out. So respite, be careful what you ask for. I promise you, it's different. Well, so now you may ask, I've fostered 27 kids and adopted one, and I'm a single guy, originally from Africa. You might sit there and say, how did I all begin? I want to show you 2 pictures of what my life was like a kid. So that's a typical village, and that's the kids from my village. That's what I would look like when I was little, as a little boy in Uganda, in Kampala. Next picture. That's kind of our grocery store. That's where we went to get food. So people would sell food or what they grow, and that's how we would find food. So that's a little bit of where I come from in a picture. But from the age of 4, or from 0 to 16, I was considered dead in so many ways. Less than a human being by my family and for the community that I grew up in. I did not have a name until when I was 2 years old. Why? Because for every 100 children who were born in my village, 60 would die before the age of 2. So my mom waited until when I was 2, and she named me a gift given to us by God. In my village, there were no glimpse of hope in any shape or form. I went to fetch water 3 to 4 miles away, twice a day at the age of 4. Most nights I went to bed hungry, wishing I did not have to see tomorrow. Never at any point was I considered a child. I had to grow really quickly to contribute to the needs of the family. Never went to school because my family could not afford $5 to take me to school. At the age of 5, I knew how to garden, I knew how to take care of my siblings, so there was no time to ever be a child. Never had a pair of shoes until when I was 16 years old. So for me, shoes is the greatest thing to have. I had 1 pair of clothes for Monday to Saturday, and 1 other pair for Sunday. So tell me, how do you tell that little boy to dream, to be hopeful for? At the age of 4, I realized that my dad was the most abusive dad you could think of. So outside poverty and labor and lack of a childhood that would have likely taken my life, inside our home, my father was the worst of all. So tell me, how do you tell a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old that there's tomorrow for you? My dream every day was, I wish I was dead so I never had to see the next day. Here's what I had from my dad every day, every night. You'll never amount to anything. You're worthless and nobody. I wish you were born so I did not have to feed you at all. That's what I had. And then the other part was watching my mother go through the same abuse. It was hard to watch my mother being brutally abused by my own father because she was advocating for us. If she said there's no food for the kids, she got the beatings because she was fighting for us. And as a kid, you hold the guilty of maybe had I not asked for food, she would not have got those beatings. And so at the age of 10, I decided I should die, but I'd rather die in the hands of a stranger. I'd never been 20 miles away, and I went 500 kilometers away, and I ended up in Kampala to die. But well, I'm here, I didn't die, but I became a street kid. It was like jumping from a pan of boiling water to a pan of boiling cooking oil. As a street kid, the abuse was worse 100 times, but it was different. These were people who I did not know, so they had the right to abuse me in every shape, form you could imagine. So tell me, did I want to live? I was better dead or buried. As a street kid, I was treated more like a stray animal. I looked like one, I smelled like one, and I believed every word they said that I was nobody. So you see why I was better off dead than alive. But all changed when I tried to steal from a stranger who shocked me by asking me my name. I was like, what's your name? I said, my name? Why would you want to know me? A good-for-nothing kid? Why? The kid that will never amount to anything? Why would you want to know his name? The kid who was called garbage every day? The kid that was always treated like a stray animal? Why would you want to know his name? But I told him, yes, my name is Peter Mutabazi. And before I could steal food, he gave me something to eat. He did this for 1.5 years. And one day he said, Peter, if you hadn't able to go to school, would you love to go to school? I said, no, because I'm not human enough to go to school or to be there. But he used a different language. He said, if you go to school, there'll be lunch, dinner, and breakfast. I was like, okay, I will go. I will go right now. And here's why I went. It's not like I went to get anything. I went to get food. But for the first time, also, I saw that someone saw me as a human being. And he drove me to school. And as he was driving, I asked, why me? This is what he said. I just want to be faithful. I didn't know what that meant. Because he was faithful, I was able to finish high school, go to university in Uganda, go to university in England, and that's how I came to the United States. Because he was faithful, he replanted my life in a different way, that my siblings also went to school and went to university. Why? Because if Peter can do it, we can do it as well. He set the example. Because he was faithful. Because he was faithful in replanting my life, I came to know Christ as my Lord and my Savior. So my family did. Because he was faithful in replanting my life, I was able to forgive my dad. Because he taught me, Genesis 50:20, for what they meant for evil, God used it for good in so many ways. Because he was faithful, that's why I'm a dad. I'm not a dad because I'm good. I'm a dad because he taught me what a father ought to be. So you see why this conference is important to me. This is why I have devoted my life to replant lives of the most vulnerable, to make others be seen because I was seen, to make others known because I was known, to make others see Christ because I was shown Christ. As a parent, it is hard, but I glean on the glimpse of that. They didn't give up on me. They loved me anyway. When my kids, at school, I think I'm known as the most parent that comes to school every other day because I get a phone call. And I always show up with coffee. And my teens always say, Dad, they just kicked me out of the school and you're bringing them coffee. Yeah, we're coming back tomorrow. They need coffee. That I've found hope in sometimes what is ugly. So you see how God will use what sometimes we see as nobody and use it for good to save lives. To whom much is given, much is required. He's given me so much, my time to do so. As a parent, think through. He gave you parents, they raised you. Should we give up on those that need a little glimpse of hope? No. So that's why I'm truly excited to be part of the conference.